Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. My name is Adzira Husain and I'm a senior lecturer from School of Creative Industry Management and Performing Arts, Universiti Utara, Malaysia, UUM. Today I would like to present my paper validating the proposed framework for visualizing music mood using visual texture. So in this presentation, there will be four parts. Section. The first one is introduction, research methodology, data analysis, and conclusion. So now let's move on to the introduction. Okay, have you ever feel sad and you want to look for some of slow or emotional songs to acknowledge your feelings, but you have no idea which song is right for you? So what you need is to look for mood music recommendation website that can suggest you songs according to your mood. In music information retrieval or MIR research field, various type of visual forms such as album cover, avatar, mood picture have been introduced to represent mood, in order to help music listeners search for songs according to their mood. Several related works have explored visual variables in their research. So this is the visual variable. A visual variable is the characteristic of a visual symbol that consists of 7 main categories such as position, size, shape, value, color, orientation, and texture. For example, here is Mood Play recommender music system that integrates content and mood-based filtering in an interactive interface. Mood Play interface use visual variables such as color and position. And then next one is a Songrium interface developed by Hamasaki 2014. Songrium offers various ways to browse music, like graph-based visualization and also song exploration in solar system-like structure. This interface uses visual variables such as shape, size, and position. Okay. There are a few other research that have used visual variables to associate music metadata, but they have not focused explicitly on textures, meaning that there is no study have been done to use visual texture to represent music mood. Texture is also one of the visual variables like I showed you just now, and it has been proven that visual texture can represent certain mood. Texture is the look and feel of any surface. It can be divided into two categories, that is tactile and visual texture. A tactile texture is also known as actual texture, where you can touch and feel it. Whereas visual texture is texture design using drawing application, scan from actual textures or photograph. There is other research in consumer studies, ceramic arts, textile design, and user interface research that have discovered texture has an emotional relationship to human moods. So, due to this fact, we propose a framework for visualizing music mood using visual texture, meaning that we want people to choose songs from mood category just by looking to an image of visual texture, and they can select that image based on their mood. Okay, so let's move to the next section, that is the research methodology. In this section, I will explain the stages of research phases in proposing and validating the framework. There are phases. These phases are adapted from design science research method. They have 5 phases. Phase 1 is awareness of problem. Phase 2, suggestion. Phase 3, development. Phase 4, evaluation. And Phase 5, conclusion. In Phase 1, we did an literature review, content analysis, and online survey. Online survey, we set up this online survey to determine which type of design element best represents specific mood. Okay, we divided into 4 sections: angry, sad, happy, and calm, and we asked respondents to choose which design element the best represent the particular mood. So in phase 2, finding from the literature review and also from the online survey, design elements and music mood, we construct the proposed framework. Next, in phase 3 is the development. Visual textures for each music mood was designed during this phase, and we put it in the application website, music application website, to represent mood category. And then we move on to the phase 4, where we validate the framework by carrying usability testing. Tasks and questionnaire for usability testing was constructed to validate the proposed framework. Okay, now let us move to the phase 2. This is our proposed framework. This framework is developed based on visual reference model. The model traces the path of transforming raw data into visual form that can be viewed by user. Meaning that from music mood, we mapped it to a visual texture, so user can view visual texture and understand what kind of mood we try to represent. Okay, one of the component is music mood. In the data table, angry, calm, happy, and sad. Another key component in this framework is the design element. Selected design element such as line, shape, color, and color value will be combined using appropriate design principle to come out with a visual texture. Okay, next move to phase 3. Visual texture that were designed was applied in the music collection website. We represent 4 types of mood using 4 different images of visual texture. Once the participant click on any of the visual texture, they will get a list of song suggestions according to the mood. Next, in order to determine how well user can interact with the visual texture to browse for music, we conducted a usability test in phase 4. Okay, so in this test, there are 2 objectives. One is to evaluate the suitability of design element in the visual texture used to recommend mood. The second objective is to evaluate the usability of browsing music according to mood using visual texture. That includes effectiveness, efficiency, ease of use, and satisfaction. Okay. Our usability testing were organized into two separate sessions, that is session 1 and session 2. Session 1 is done face to face with the researcher. Participant will browse the music application website and answer a few sets of questionnaire. Next, after the session 1 is finished, they will get a reminder note through email that contain a few simple tasks for them to accomplish. Okay, so session 2, they will be doing it at home. The session 2 is conducted online, and at the end of session 2, they will answer questionnaire on ease of use and satisfaction. So after session 1 and session 2 are completed, all data is prepared and organized for data analysis process. Now we go to the next section, that is data analysis. In measuring the suitability of the visual texture, participants were asked to answer a questionnaire right after they have completed each task. We measure it on 7-point Likert scale, ranging from strongly disagree and strongly agree. As you can see in the table, the small interquartile range or IQR value for angry, happy and sad moods indicate that majority of the participants agreed that the visual texture are suitable for the music mood. However, the IQR for calm mood is slightly bigger, which indicates that participant opinions might be divided. This suggests that half of the participants might think that the visual texture for calm mood is suitable and the rest think it is not. Okay, based on the result in the table, the selection of lines and color value is the cause of the confusion. Next, we continue to efficiency. Efficiency is a measure of how quickly and easily a task can be accomplished. Efficiency refers to the average time that each participant takes to complete each task. So in this experiment, efficiency is measured in terms of task time. Okay, why do we measure efficiency? It is because from the result we can understand if the task time is short, meaning that the texture is easy to be understood. But if user takes a longer time to complete the task, it shows that they are unable to interpret the message portrayed by the visual texture. And the result from this experiment, participant completed task 1 in 44.45 seconds, which means it's significantly faster than the others. The average time taken to complete task 2 is 81.38 seconds. Task 3, 52.73 seconds. And 57.3 seconds for task 4. From this result, it can be concluded that participants took longer time to complete task 2. Okay, why is that? Maybe it's probably because of the participants are confused by the design element incorporated into the visual texture to represent calm mood. Okay, next we move on to effectiveness. Effectiveness can be calculated by measuring the completion rate. It is the percentage of tasks that users complete correctly. As you can see here, the task completion rate for each task. Task 1, 35 participants were successful and 5 were unsuccessful, and the completion rate is 87.5%. In task 2, equals number of participants were successful and unsuccessful. That makes the completion rate for task 2 is 50%. In task 3, 39 participants were successful and only one was unsuccessful. So the completion rate for task 3 is 97.5. And in task 4, 37 participants were successful and 3 were unsuccessful, and the completion rate for task 4 is 92.5. Overall, the completion rates for task angry, happy, and sad are above average rate. As expected, completion rate for task 2 is the lowest and below average. However, results for all tasks are acceptable. Okay, besides completion rate, we also measure success rate. Success rate is the percentage of participants who were able to complete the task given in their first attempt. For this usability testing, the success rate refers to whether or not the participant is successfully able to click on the right visual texture to search for song. The success rate for task 2 is the lowest among other tasks. Most participants can easily find songs for angry, happy, and sad according to the task given in just one attempt. For task 2, some participants were successful in the second attempt and the rest will fail to complete the task. However, success rates and completion for all tasks are acceptable, and this result indicate that browsing music using visual texture is effective. After measuring the efficiency, effectiveness, now ease of use is measured next. In the experiment, participants were asked to rate ease of use towards browsing music mode using visual texture. First, when they have completed session 1, and the other one is after they have completed session 2. The results for both sections are compared, and we see if there are any changes in ease of use rating between first time use and longer term use. As we can see here, the comparison of ease of use score for first time and longer term use, that is in 2 weeks, we can see that 13 participants had higher ease of use score in session 1. The increases to 20 participants in session 2, while 7 participants saw no change in their score. A Wilcoxon sign rank test shows that browsing music for 2 weeks did not elicit a statistically significant change in ease of use for first time use and longer term use. Okay, this result indicates that after browse through the music collection after 2 weeks, participants still give positive feedback toward ease of use. Okay, now the last one is the satisfaction. It is the same like the ease of use. Okay. From the result, we can see that 10 participants had a higher satisfaction score in session 1 and increases to 17 participants in session 2, while 13 participants saw no change in their score. A Wilcoxon sign rank test showed that browsing music for 2 weeks did not elicit a statistically significant change in satisfaction for first time and longer term use. This result indicate that though the participant browsed through the digital music collection website for another 2 weeks, they still give positive feedback towards the satisfaction. So, the conclusion. This paper presents the process of validating a proposed framework for visualizing music mood by using visual texture. 4 visual textures are designed to represent angry, calm, happy, and sad mood. The visual texture used to represent music mood category in a music collection website, and usability testing was carried out to validate the proposed framework. It can be concluded that the design elements that were suggested for each visual texture is acceptable and suits the assigned mood. Therefore, browsing music mood using visual texture is also perceived to be efficient and effective. In conclusion, all phases of validating the proposed framework are completed. Therefore, this framework will be a useful guideline to help the designers or the software developers to select suitable visual elements when designing a clear and understandable visual texture to represent specific music modes in the music application. To the music listener community in general, this research will offer a new way of browsing digital music collection, assisting listeners in discovering songs and artists might not have been noticed otherwise using the traditional way. So that is my presentation for today. Thank you for listening. Please let me know if you have any comments or question by sending me an email to my email address on the screen. Thank you.